didn't let us know that it's recording. Now, yeah, now it's
Okay. Because I manually turned it on. So
okay.
it didn't like last week, both Julianne and I hit record and it said it was recording on both computers and I can't find that file on the computer or the cloud on two separate accounts anywhere. So I thought once we get this sorted out, I'll be much happier with it. So how is your I know I've seen you post in the Facebook group, both of you ladies. So how is the journey so far with the I know it how's it how just go ahead. Tell us how the journey with your YouTube accounts is so far. Or at least creating the ideas and getting the creative juices flowing.
Go ahead, Tanya.
Sure, happily. I have a version of ChatGPT called Stormy Speaks, and I'm having no issues. I just put in what I want to do, and it really it helps. It gives me
Can you
the
hear me?
yep. It gives me the title. It gives me the description. It gives me a telepromptation if I need that, and I'm not having any problems creating the ideas for content.
Okay, perfect. And I know you've gone live. Are you doing your YouTube lives weekly or how? I don't know if I saw anything this week, but
You did. It was late, but I did do it.
okay.
Yesterday or it was late, but I did do it. Um, I want to get back onto my schedule. I really like the this having the fixed time so that people can start to show up for that. So I'm going to be
Well,
more proactive about
that's
doing
the
it.
whole thing with showing up as an online presence is that same time every day a week, right? Because then your audience gets used to when you're going to be showing up because everybody's got busy schedules. I know this week we've been in Washington, D.C. Now we're out in Delaware, so I'm visiting as many people as possible. But then my schedule's kind of been crazy, and I was
Can
like,
I get
okay.
your
And we
help?
had YouTube training this week, and the YouTube training was like a huge light bulb moment. And I'm like, it's like keep doing lives. You're bringing more people. All the creators who've been recently monetized on YouTube in the last year, they're bringing more people on, and YouTube's like, keep going. Schedule those lives because we really want you to just do lives, and we're not going to say we're going to send more traffic your way, but it's a possibility if you're showing up consistently. And we see new accounts starting to go live once you get the 50 subscribers. We're going to keep pushing you along that way. So we've got Julie and I have challenges we have to do now, which I'm like, great, more swag as long as I, stick with it and completely and finish all these, get all these lives scheduled in. So congratulations, Tanya. Keep put whenever you we're following all your accounts. So whenever I have multiple devices. I've got an iPhone, I got an Android phone. We got multiple Androids actually. So it's usually when one of us goes live, we turn on all of our devices. When any of our students or anybody I'm following is on, I will go and leave it on just to see what they're talking about. It's also video quality and internet quality because sometimes like I think yesterday I tried to do it wasn't YouTube Live, it was Facebook Live. I kept getting kicked off, and I'm like, I got a brand new iPhone, and we got really, but I was blaming it on AT&T yesterday, so I was like, okay, this is why you just got to keep showing up because people show up, but sometimes it doesn't work out. But you can't let that get you down. You just got to keep moving on. So
Oh yeah, no, I totally had an internet outage while I was in the middle of an Instagram live early this week. And I found out later from people that it was choppy and stuff, and I'm like, well, I didn't have any internet, so
well, the other way to do lives, we haven't discussed it. The other way to do lives is using something like StreamYard or Restream, where you upload a video file you've already pre-recorded. Like if you any of the big influencers that you follow if they got perfect 4K video that they're streaming on lives, you know it's probably a replay. Like that's something Cardone or any of the other big names in the space would be doing, is they'd be uploading files and then scheduling those for broadcast, because at the end of the day, they're broadcasting their personality and their pitch, right? So they're very consistent at that, and that's how they become so big on the internet, is they're super consistent with getting their messaging out there. So, um, Jeanette, did you want to let us know how your week's going?
Yeah, I got another idea for another channel,
Okay.
and because I was watching in Purple Sherpa, and a husband hired a secret friend for his wife who had dementia, and that person was to just take her out every day and do
Oh,
something
cool.
fun.
Cool.
So then I thought, well, that'd be kind of fun for mom. And then I thought, well, why not me? And mom, being a grandma, she would reach a far greater audience. It's not so specific. People love
Oh,
grandmas, right?
so you're planning out the audience. I
Yeah.
see what you're doing. I see what you're doing, because this is why I'm visiting a bunch of online entrepreneurs, because everybody, I just saw Paul, my brother Paul, in Tampa a couple weeks ago, and then I met him through Jose, who I just met, or I saw a couple days ago, and then the person who connected us all, I'm at his compound in Delaware right now. So we're just making the rounds and seeing how I can add value to them, and they can, bring value to our group. So it's nice. Just think about all the audiences out there, because you may think you do one thing, but there's all these other people who are following you. And I don't know who's following me until they send me a message or an email or a text or whatever the case may be, to say, hey, I need help with this, or hey, you had a great idea about YouTube. Let's plan it out with our brand. So, Yasmin, have you fixed your technical difficulties, or you still can't hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Apparently, power went out yesterday, so I needed to restart the speakers.
I guess that would make sense. I guess that would make sense. So, how are you? It's been a week or two since we saw you. How are you doing this week?
Doing good. The shorts continue to get mostly, you know, the nature shorts seem, well, it's hard to say. Some get like 1,500 views, some get like less than 100. So it's hard to
Okay.
tell, but I keep putting them out there. I try and do something a little different on the weekends.
Okay.
And I think transitioning um, more into the longer form content is my next step now, and maybe
Perfect.
going
Yeah.
live.
You'll notice, because shorts, it's not that they're inconsistent. The views might be inconsistent in the short time, and then overall, as we drive traffic to your YouTube channel, people will consume what they like to consume off your stuff, right? So it's really just add that mix in. That's why the homework every week is one long, add the shorts in. If you get to 50 subscribers, then you can go live, because some of our students really, live is where they like shorts and lives, but then the only challenge would be the watch hours. But get started, keep making your content, and then we can advise you, if you're not getting the traction, then we're gonna start going through channels in the next week or two, everybody's channels, and just looking at your content. And we're gonna show you something a little advanced today with titles and descriptions using a tool. But I wanted to see how everybody's week's been going, and see if there's any struggles that you've been having, because I think we're in week 7 right now, so we're starting to get into good stuff, and we got a consistent class that keeps showing up, and I'm inviting that summer. I keep inviting everybody I know, and everybody's traveling, and I'm like, yeah, so it's happening. Everybody's traveling, everybody's super interested, and everybody's traveling. So
It's a hard
that's
time of year.
it's I'm an entrepreneur 52 weeks a year, so the schedule is always challenging, because interesting things pop up, and you're like, I can help you, but I've never talked to you before, and now you want all this IT help right now. And sometimes requests throw me off, because I wasn't expecting something on a Friday morning, and that's what I had yesterday. So I was like, okay. Good morning, Paul. How are you doing?
Brother, good morning. How are you?
I am good.
Outstanding, outstanding. I'm coming off a good week. I just kicked off these human alignment code 5-day resets
Hmm.
in the challenge, and
I've
so
experienced them. I appreciate them.
as you experienced that, yeah. So I just ran cohort number 3 this past week. So coming off of that, as you know, my platform posted has been Facebook. So I've been posting there and building content for that. But this is really timely because I think I shared with you that I had launched a podcast last year, and I got about 60 episodes. And so, I decided that I was going to do a reboot on the podcast. One, because, I evolved into the way I want to approach the podcast has evolved. And so I started a new channel, but I have not posted there yet so it's a brand new
Hmm.
version channel, right?
Yep.
And I have all this content. So now so part of what I want to do as I was listening to you talking, and you said 7 weeks or 8 weeks, you said 7 weeks in. And
Yeah.
so I want to go back and kind of look at the recordings for the previous weeks because I want to start building this channel, but I want to build it with the right strategy because I want to be able to turn that into a monetization machine. And
Hmm.
I mean, not only obviously I want the impact from the channel and all that from the podcast, but I also want to be able to monetize it. And I know that's all in how you set it up and how you launch it initially, and then how you maintain and build it, throughout. And so.
That's why there's so much advanced stuff to do with YouTube, but we're like, hey, I don't want to throw all these tools at software's fun. There's all these advanced tools for like when I'm speaking to other YouTubers who've got established channels, they're like, hey, what are you using? And they've got like this whole list of tools or arsenal that they use for thumbnails and driving traffic and titles and descriptions and chapters and tags and all this stuff. But I'm like, the fundament is good. You've got established content. You have recorded episodes already to start doing like a drip campaign. So like, schedule because you could even rebroad it's a virgin channel, so without 50 subscribers you can't do re you can upload them manually and schedule them to
Mm,
go out. But if we can get you to that 50, you could then do a drip campaign where you're rebroadcasting old episodes as lives, because
mm,
that would get you a ton of new subs. Because generally, when I'm watching any of our students go live, they're adding 50 to 100 subs every time they go live. So I'm like, if they did
mm,
that, if they had enough content to restream as a live, um, they could easily add 50 to 100 new subs a day. And if they did that 30, you know, we were we were on YouTube training this week, right? Because YouTube's got a whole bunch of brand new changes that they're implementing July 15th. And
mm,
they were reviewing, like we got reinvited because we do enough, we're active, we've got multiple channels, but we're active enough in our main ones that we got these invites to say, hey, you're hand selected and we want you to start pushing lives. And I'm like, okay, I'm streaming our travels, I'm doing lives, a couple lives a week, 2 3 lives a week, right? And they mentioned somebody was doing 100 lives in the last quarter.
What?
Exactly. And then I was like, okay, so there's people who they've gotten over their camera fright. They've gotten over they're just like, hey, this is what I'm gonna do every day, or well, it's not they're not doing it every day, but they're doing it quite often, uh, a couple times a week in order to hit that type of number. And I was like, wow, I feel behind. Like it's not that I feel behind, but I'm like, wow, okay, they've really taken, and they'd be new to YouTube, so I'm like, they've really taken the bull by the horns and ran with it. And I was
Mhm.
like, okay, but this mental discipline and scheduling, and it's just like, hey, I'm going to do this consistently every single time, regardless of what pops up in my life, right? Because my Julie went live this week, and it was super interesting to see the audience in there because she did her it was meditation, right? Yeah, she did meditation, and there's some people who were super receptive to it, and others not. So she was finished it, and then it was just conversation for what 20, for an hour. So she did her meditation, and then there was a conversation for an hour after that because there's so much, if they weren't her audience, they would have dropped off the channel. Maybe one or two of them are trolls, but they kept the conversation going. And I'm like, hey, perfect. So you kept them engaged and you kept them in conversation after the fact. And you just kept running the clock, which kept adding to those watch hours. And then they generally, when we see the live viewer count go down to zero, then I'll get off because I'm like, okay, I got on, the audience showed up, I've got a good number. The longer you go, usually the more viewers you have, and then when they start dropping off, we'll get off because we're like, okay, obviously our the interest has peaked at this time of day with our audience, and we'll get off. But it was we're super proud because she had some pros, she had trolls in there, but they just kept asking her questions about why she does this, and what her opinions are. And I'm like, hey, you kept them engaged. You didn't get upset. Because we'll post on social media, and you may not like all the comments you get. That's why when you post, Paul, I go, if I see it, I'm gonna go add a positive comment on there because I want everyone to keep posting and having a positive experience because I know there's going to be negativity out there and you need to just mentally get past that and keep on going. So,
Mhm.
I'm just going to chime
Absolutely.
in. I'm going to say one positive thing about having trolls that are keeping your conversation going is that you're getting longer views and you're getting more, it's adding to your analytics, right? So the more that you're engaging with somebody and the longer it goes and the more that show up, that's actually better. So if you have trolls and they're like, calling you on and you can stay cool, you're like, well, this is great, that means you're viewing it, and then I'm communicating and you can get longer and longer, right? So I thought of it, even if they were, a little bit trolling and difficult, it was really an interesting experience because that has been a progression through the lives. um but in my mind, I'm like, this is great. People are talking to me where I've not necessarily had that during every live. And that's over
Mhm.
time as you build the audience, you're going to get seen more and more. And then you're going to have more people communicating whether they agree or don't agree. You want to think of it as positive because even if you do get negative comments after the fact on a video that you've posted, it helps your analytics. Even if you get hate on it, that actually
Mhm.
helps you get seen. So the more that people interact with your video, positive or negative, it is better for you. So that would be the way I would recommend if you do find, like, if you're ever in a situation you start to feel like, holy crap, this person's kind of like attacking me, just think of it as, yes, people are seeing me, and like try to put it in that positive state if you do have that happen, because it's actually a good thing because you're getting more views, right?
100%.
Edward's in there. Good morning, Edward. How you doing?
Good morning, everyone. I'm doing well. How's everyone doing?
We've moved far. We've moved from your area to Delaware, so
Oh, wow. You keep on trucking along, huh?
keep
Keep
on
on
trucking.
trucking, they
Well,
say.
we've got filming in New Jersey for Mupo Entertainment for my podcast company, and whatever big network we're doing it for, filming a pilot. So I'm moving our plans changed. So I'm kind of circling around Delaware, and we got Nashville plans next week, and then we'll head it up to New Jersey. So, but you're brand new, so you showed up this week. Introduce yourself to the group just so everybody knows where you're from. I don't know if do you know Paul or
Yes, Paul, I gotta link up with you. I'm gonna make it happen. I'll just leave it there and say that much.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll shoot you my calendar.
guys, I'm a martial artist. Also met Mike through CLA. And he had something about YouTube I'm interested in, trying to figure out this YouTube stuff. Excuse me. Especially in my genre, there's a lot of martial artists out there, a plethora, and the question would be, how do you stand out? I've been watching YouTube and seeing all the contents, and I've learned a few things of what not to do, but also is standing out because whew, it's a lot. I guess you guys already know that. And the troll situation, I also play music. I'm a DJ as well. And I got trolled, but I didn't respond. I just put out a heart emoji and they left me alone. So I figured sometimes people are just miserable and they want misery loves company and they want to drag you down. And if you engage, it's that rabbit hole you don't want to go down. So I
But they're
almost
but they're
responded, and some
but
said,
but
"Don't
but they're
show love."
commenting, right? So there's activity that. So
Yeah.
one you brought up one thing, which is doing research. That's important. We haven't even covered doing research on other channels in your niche, because when we get into advanced tools of learning what videos YouTube wants that don't currently exist, we're gonna do a little bit of research just so you have more creative, more direction in what videos you should be creating. Um, if you are currently doing research in your niche and you're finding there's channels out there with lots of subscribers, lots of videos, go start commenting. Like make a list of those channels and start go commenting on the videos in those channels, because that is another way to get organic traffic to come over to your channel. Like I'll literally go to other YouTube monetization experts or anybody who says they're doing amazing on YouTube. I'll go to their channels and drop comments with my channel and just see um if it can it's just a tactic out there. You go view what other successful people are doing. You make comment. It's what I do on Facebook as well. If I see people out there doing well or I have a tip for them, I'll just make comments, and then anyone else, their audience will see your comments and be like, "Hey, this is great feedback. I wonder why this person said this," and then they'll go check out your stuff. And it's just an organic way to get more people looking at your stuff, because you're doing your research, and now their audience is doing their research, and they're gonna come check your stuff out. So let's see who else is in here this morning. Oh, Kim's. Good morning, Kim. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Sorry. When I'm on a mobile device, it's really hard just to find the mute
I
button,
get
but I'm doing
yelled at.
good.
That's okay. Thank you for showing up. I get yelled at all the
Mhm.
time for being on my iPhone. Like,
Oh.
why are you in front of a computer? I'm like, I am mobile. I am wife, kid, 3 dogs, driving. I live in a trailer. Like, I'm always on the like this class because I'm recording it down in front of my laptop.
Mhm.
So, how are you doing this week?
I am doing well. So I did slow down in cadence a little bit, but I want to pick it back up just because I'll be out of commission for the later half or the later part of the summer a little bit.
Okay.
But I want to just mass produce, not mass produce because it sounds bad, but I just want to like record a lot. And what I do is I pre-schedule it and my whole deal with content repurposing. So
Yep.
that's my plan. And I like what you said about commenting on other folks' channels because that's one thing I haven't done, but one thing I can do a lot, and I do a lot, is a lot of research.
Yeah, it's what I'm literally
Mhm.
researching. I'm going like hour a day minimum. So I've been behind a little bit on other stuff because I'm like, okay, what are what can we learn from other YouTube channels? So I'm constantly going through, because I'll see people posting stuff either on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram. I'm like, hey, this person's doing amazing or whatever. And at the end of the day, I'm like, hey, they've got a lot of videos. But subscriber numbers
Yeah.
don't matter as long as they're over 1,000. They can be monetized. But I'm like, they got a ton of videos. I'm always checking the back end to see if they're constantly posting and when they got. We'll go to see if they're monetized and that, because at the end of the day, I'm just kind of figuring out, okay, they're posting these they're posting income numbers. This is what I did using this AI strategy, or this is what I did using this cold DM strategy, and I want to go find out if they're
Hmm.
actually legit, or they're just sending people to their funnel and selling them a course, right? So at the end of the day, I just want to see what the numbers are on their YouTube, because they're claiming one thing, it might be opposite, and then I'll go comment on their stuff. Just interact with their audience. So say, hey, this is great, but I think this is what they're doing. So if you have any clarity on it, please let me know, because we're constantly um, reviewing a lot of YouTube accounts, and I just want to see how people are doing with
Mm-hmm.
AI videos, long form, shorts, lives, like all the analytic. I'm a nerd, just like you. I'm a nerd at the end of the day. I like numbers. I may
Mm-hmm.
not have achieved those numbers yet, but I want to see how people have achieved those numbers if they're actual numbers, right? So,
Yeah, and then the type of content that I produce is like it kind of has to be like timely because the AI products and
yes, I know
things just
you're,
come
yeah,
out
I agree.
pretty quickly. So what I do, and I'm actually looking for right now because I have like two devices, all devices going at once. But I also like look at like Perplexity just for like research, and then I can just narrow down if I just want to look at videos. And then I'm just seeing like what videos are getting attention and what topics. So like right now, a hot topic that I want to do is the agentic browsers because now that just came out, and just kind of keeping a pulse on what like has come out, what people might be looking for, and then I
Okay.
look at the others that talking about the same thing.
So you brought up an advanced tool like Perplexity. I know a lot of people haven't heard about it. Are
Hmm.
you using their new product Comet or?
I'm still waiting for my invite. It's
Okay, okay,
frustrating.
okay, okay.
Yeah,
No, I just
yeah. No, it's
like I
fine,
said.
but no, you can actually use it without it. So I think in the let me see. I don't want to take up the whole call, and I definitely don't want to
No, I've used
yeah,
so Perplexity is there's just all these AI
yeah.
tools, right?
Yeah.
It's a new browser, but it's kind of beta, so you
Hmm.
either have to pay $200 US a month for access to it or get an invite. I just know a lot of people, I'm not going to call them bros, but I know a lot of people in the AI space, and there's a lot of people who've got access to it already. So I've tried. It's like I've tried ChatGPT's advanced browser, and I was finding it had so many limitations. I stopped
I'm
paying
done.
for it. So anyway,
Mhm.
I think Stephanie has joined the call. Good morning, Stephanie. How are you doing?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. I just lost my train of thought there. So
I'm
how are
sorry.
you
I didn't
doing?
mean to
How are
come in
you
late.
doing? How are you doing? How's your week been so far?
Good, good. I had to drop some kids off this morning, so I told Julie I'd
No
be a little bit
worries.
late.
As we told you, this is going to drop in, and we will step you through week by week. And if we need to do some one-on-one coaching with you to get you started with the content strategies, we're open to that too. I'm doing that with Edward. We're going to do some one-on-one stuff because at the end of the day, this is a learning curve. So
Yeah.
writing ideas is a learning curve. Fleshing out scripts, recording, uploading, and then learning how to master titles and descriptions of the YouTube videos is getting a little bit more advanced. So it's a learning process, and we're here to help you out with that. So I hope you're well. Hope the family's well.
Yes, good.
Okay, did I miss asking anybody how they are doing? I think I got everybody. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to pass it to Julie because she is going to show you examples of uploading videos to YouTube and then using an advanced tool like vidIQ to come up with titles, descriptions, et cetera, et cetera. So you want me to make you host? Yeah, well, you can if you want. Can you see my screen? I can see your screen.
Okay, hello, hello. So we went into the back end. I thought I would do kind of there's a few ways you can upload. So I kind of wanted to touch how it looks because I know some people are uploading a lot of videos and probably know a lot of this stuff. And then there's some of us that aren't posting as many and may not have come across this. Because once you post a video, you want to actually go on the back end and do some of this stuff, and depending on how you post it, some of this you will do at the time that you post, some you'll do after you've posted up a video. So I'm showing you my back end. So when you go into the back end, this will look very much like this. You'll have your channel. Oops, why is my dashboard's not working now? Retry. Something went wrong. Well, something's always gone wrong, right? Oh dear. Okay, I've been logged out of my account. You can tell we have a few different accounts here. Really? Okay, I am going to give me 1 second. Sorry, we're in Delaware. Okay, just give me 1 second. I am going to log out here. How can I cannot even see the Zoom screen. There we go. Stop sharing for a second. Let me log back in. I don't know why it logged me out. Yeah, it's all related, all connected, right? Let me just make sure I got my password. Okay. Obviously, I got logged out for some reason. Continue with plan, continue. Okay, let's try this again. Okay. Nothing. So, okay, let's do this. Why? Oh my goodness, it's like I've never logged into this before. I don't understand why it's. Did we do any updates?
These things happen to me too.
Because it's like updating my entire thing. Okay, anyways, let's try this again. I am now logged in, so I'm going to share this again. Okay, perfect. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so this will be your back end. And so when you get to this back end, this you will access, just again briefly, like if you're on your YouTube, this is on my desktop, my laptop. You would go to your channel, and then it would show you kind of like where you've been posting all your videos. And then I like to just go here to manage videos. That is what I like to do to get it. There's a few different ways you can get in there. Then when you get here, it'll usually bring you to your content or to your dashboard that you'll see here on the left side. So the dashboard's actually really, really good because this will give you updates. So I had mentioned last week about how I got a copyright claim using Canva stuff, right? So right here in the middle, you see my important notices. This is where I will be replying to them, telling them that I owned it and see if I can get that I don't get a copyright strike, or not a strike, but a claim, so I can still monetize it. So this would be any stuff that YouTube is communicating with you will kind of be in the middle. It'll show you some of your latest videos, how they're doing. If people have commented, this is a great way too, if you've posted videos, to make sure you can go and acknowledge the people that are commenting on it. So I'm trying not to spend too much time on this back end because of course you can play with it and see all of this yourself, and then you'll get summaries. What I wanted to really focus today is the content, but you'll see there's lots of information on that left side. And as we go through, we'll be running into all of this stuff anyways. But I wanted to show you first one video that I've uploaded, but I didn't put too much information on, and then how to update that in the back end. And then we're going to upload a short video, and I'm going to show you another way that actually is a little bit easier, where it'll copy what I've already put in, especially if you're doing similar content. So if you are doing similar content, there is tools that you can use that'll just help you, that you don't have to necessarily redo everything if it's similar content. And I don't know if that makes sense, but we'll go through it. So I uploaded a short here. Okay, so you might have seen me highlight Biddy. Biddy is a highlight of my channel. And so I made this video. Biddy's middle name is procrastination. I just called it that. That is legitimately all I did. It is scheduled for like the end of July. And if I go in here, this is what you see, right? So you're not seeing much of anything. And I do not have vidIQ on this one because it did not reload up on the maybe that's what happened. The vidIQ didn't reload up. Because make sure the extension's on. Is it logged me out, and I'm on Chrome. Did it like literally update everything?
Why?
I don't know, because I got on here and I don't know. I like everything changed. It wanted me to relog in. I don't know if there was just some weird update that happened. Because it's all good that you get prepared and everything works, and then you got to use it and nothing works anymore. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go back on the old one and just show you guys all my bad amount of tabs I have open, because then that'll be easier. Let's see if it has logged me out of this. Okay, let's share this screen instead. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So you see all my gazillion tabs here. Okay, let's try this again. So I'm going to my shorts. Am I logged out again? I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this because it's legitimately everything is broken somehow since I used it yesterday. I don't know what happened. Okay, well, we'll pretend that I'm not going to use vidIQ and I'll just show you the base way. And then I'm not going to be able to show that because I don't know why everything has stopped working. Okay, so back here at this Biddy's middle name is procrastination. Okay, so this is where you put your title. Now, when I have the vidIQ that works, it'll give me a rating here and tell me what the rating is out of 100. So it'll tell me how good my name is for what I'm naming for the title. So it's like how searchable it is, etc., etc. Now, we use this vidIQ. However, you do not need to use that. You can also just, you can use chat, right? So what I will do often is Okay, yeah. So Tanya mentioned she was me using chat for her titles as well. So you can definitely go into chat, and what I will do is I'll give them kind of what I've determined as the name. So here I put Biddy's middle name is procrastination, and I'll be like, and then I'll explain maybe like in a sentence videos about and say, can you make me a very, and I'll put the criteria, like something that people would be searching related to this and be very clickable. And I often actually like the names I get from chat a little more than vidIQ. So sometimes I'll kind of mix them between because it will auto give me ones with vidIQ because it actually watches your video and then it will give suggestions, and it will also give suggestions for descriptions. And that usually shows up here. And it will also give suggestions for thumbnails. Now with thumbnails, as I mentioned before with shorts, the only way you can put a thumbnail for short and pick it is actually on the YouTube watching app on your phone. So if you want it, so this, as you can see in the far left corner, is the image I picked from the video to put as my thumbnail, but I had to do that when I was uploading it on my phone. Because unfortunately with shorts, you cannot edit those thumbnails on this end. I don't know why, that's just how that works. Then you've got playlists. Now, I would highly recommend that you get yourself some different playlists. I would make one list. Now, if you do plan on cross-posting your videos to other platforms, it's a good idea to have a playlist and put them in there, because with a lot of the systems, like the one we use, which is Repurpose, it will pull from that file any new files that go into that folder, and then it will push them out to the other platforms. So it's a good idea and even just for yourself, if you are doing different contents, like you'll see here, I have live streams, I have shorts of like our travel adventures, I have guided meditations. So even for myself, if I'm looking, because I do make a bunch of different content to see what kind of response I get, it just helps me so I can go back and find them. So I highly recommend that. Then you come down through here and, okay, where's my, can I not? What is going on, Mike? This is really not working very well. Okay, let's minimize this. Why? I can't even scroll down any further. I don't know what happened to my computer.
It might be because you're sharing notes.
I never had that problem before. So there's supposed to be more, but you can see here is that it's made it, if you're making content for kids or not, it will force you, whether you're doing this on the phone or not, it will force you to do that if there's age restrictions. Okay, here we go. There's the show more. Then if you do have any sponsorships in the future, you do that. This is an important part, and I would highly recommend if you are making any AI content. So when I do videos that are AI based, I will select the yes, that it is altered. This is specifically kind of Okay, sorry. I've been looking, because I'm having problems. Okay. Okay, what's her question?
When you say playlist, can you explain what that is?
Okay, yeah, the playlist. Let's go back to that. So here I made a bunch of playlists, and So I even have one as example, doggies, right? So when you're in this backend, you can right here create a new playlist. What that does is if you go to your YouTube and you're here and somebody comes to visit your channel, there is, you can see right here, this kind of middle option right beside live. So this is how they'll, if you played on YouTube, you'll see that these are the videos. So these are the long forms. These are where your shorts are. This is where the lives that you do go. And then this is playlists. Now the playlists here, this is actually great because then if people are interested in specific content, they can go in here because you've already sorted it, right? So this one here is public. You can make them public or private, so you don't have to share them. And if you do make content that you're going to give to other people that you don't want public, you can have it unlisted and share that content as well. So you can get into those details as we go. But as you can see, like I've got a list here, which is my travel adventure. So this is just a bunch of different videos. If I go in here, you'll see like these are all just shorts I've made from the travels we've done through the US. So that's what you'll kind of see here. And then that's what that playlist will highlight. Because of course, when I'm posting random stuff all the time, it's just kind of whatever day those go. If I want to look back for a specific posting or a specific video, because I have made so many, I find the playlists are easier because then, yeah, I've got them organized, right? So if I want to go back to my meditations, right? I can go, well, I got Dubai travel. I've done videos on that. I can go here to my guided meditations. And again, that's public. And then that's got the list of all the different meditations that I have made. And then people can go through them if they want. I find it for myself just useful because often I'll be looking for a video. And when I've put them into different playlists, depending on the content, I can then find them as well if I want to share something with it. So that is kind of how the playlists work. And you can have as many as you want. You can have one playlist. If you are, like I mentioned, going to push content, you'll want at least one playlist where all of them go into that. So then your content can be pushed to the other platforms. That was our experience. We had to have it. So all of them, I have one of them where all my videos actually go. And that is, I know it's, where is it? Oh, here, it's this Messages from the Divine. So it was like one of the first playlists I actually had started very early on. And then that one got connected to that account. So I just make sure everything is in that playlist so it gets pushed to all the different platforms that I'm pushing my content on. Okay, so hopefully that's clear. Do you guys have any questions about the playlists or any of that other stuff that I've kind of gone over? I can't see the chat anymore. Here's chat. Okay. Okay, well, let's continue. So
the other concept be when we're using that I arrange something.
yes.
It-
I got a good addition to that playlist question. So when you're using a tool like vidIQ or Kim uses TubeBuddy, there's another one called ViewStats. There's all these tools that help you rank your videos higher. They'll factor in your title, your description, the tags you're using. When you're using a tool to help you rank your YouTube videos, they want you to use a playlist. So you'll get a higher ranking if that video is in an organized place called a playlist. And then Julie had brought up that when you go to use an advanced tool like repurpose.io to push your content automatically from YouTube to Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever, you have to choose an individual playlist of videos to push to the other platforms. We have not gone over that yet because it's a more advanced tool and we want you to. So we're showing you advanced tools. As you build up your content, we will help you go in there and use these advanced tools and then help you repurpose all your YouTube stuff everywhere else just to gain more traction. But it takes a long time to learn all this stuff, and we've been working on it for a couple of years. Go ahead.
So the point is, what the intention today is just to get you comfortable so you kind of see how the back end is laid out, because we definitely there's much more detail we'll go in as we continue on, right? But okay, so kind of went over the playlist, so it gives you a background of that. Then the altered content, which again, if you're doing lives or anything, don't have to worry about that, right? If you're doing your own content and nothing is created by AI, don't worry about it. But if you are, this is going to be a good practice because I know that and they've already told us that they want to hamper down on AI. And if you were saying it wasn't AI, but it was, that could cause you problems down the road, right? So we're just doing our due diligence. Automatic chapters. Now, we did talk a little bit about this. I don't find that that actually works. So I put allow automatic chapters. I always leave that. But as we talked about with the remixes and the shorts, your best practice is to go in and put those chapters in. So that would be in the description right here. And again, that's like when you're doing you put the time, I put a 0, and then you'd put your intro, and then then you put the time like at 1 minute, whatever it is, right? This is a short, it's only 11 seconds. I'm definitely not going to be putting chapters in it, but I keep that on there because I feel too is that it's just a good practice to keep that clicked just in case. I don't know if the back end it has any connection with that. Okay, undo the changes. I don't want to save them, and now it's not letting me go back down. I love technology, always works so fantastic. I do remember there was a time where we were told, there's going to be no tech jobs, and fair enough, there's a lot of AIs replacing it, but technology doesn't always work well together. So there's always going to have to be somebody to help work this out. But why can I not scroll anymore? Okay, let's refresh this page. Okay, so let's continue. There we go, show more. Then you've got allow automatic places. So this can do like if it reads that you were at a location, it'll put that in there. Then we get to this important part. This is tags. And this is also why we really like vidIQ. So what we can do is that in the next couple of weeks, we'll go over vidIQ and show you it when it's actually attached. I was planning to do that, but it's not working. So we'll reattach it and then we'll show you because I find it very useful for things like the tags. So these are essentially how you want to tag your video. So for example, this video, I put like Great Pyrenees. I would put dogs, funny dogs, like just words like that. What's nice about the tools, which I unfortunately don't have at this moment to show you, is you can put in one of them and it will show you highly suggested underused tags. So ones that people use, but a lot of content creators don't necessarily tag. And so it'll help you just pick out really good tags to put with your video. So I do like that with the vidIQ, but then you can also just manually put in the tags like dog and then Great Pyrenees. I always spell that wrong. I always spell it wrong. There we go. And then you press your enter, and then that would be just how the tags kind of stay there. Now, this is the language part. This one I really don't use unless you have a caption certificate. I don't find this a very important tool. You can put the recording date if you want, and if you do have any YouTube license agreements, etc. I would keep this on, especially on your long ones, that you can allow yourself to remix your videos and audio, especially on your longs, because we talked about that making those shorts. But you do have the ability that if you don't want somebody taking your content, you can really just let them have audio. They can pull that audio. You can kind of adjust that. And then category, depending on what you do, like if you're in science and technology, which Kim is, right? Like the AI and stuff, that might be a really good way to put it. Pets and animals I could do. I usually kind of leave it in entertainment as an overall one, but you can of course get more specific. So that gives you the background of this. On the bar here, on the right, you'll have a little mini screen where you can watch your video. So I like this one because as I showed with the remix, this is a great place where I can find out like where my chapters are and rewatch the video that I've posted without it being public, because this is kind of on your back end. This is where you can schedule your video, date, time. And then of course, related videos. So this is actually a really great tool, especially since what the big key is, the more content you have, the better, because the goal, and as per the YouTube employee, I put this in the Facebook group, the YouTube employee was being asked, what is the quickest way to get to that 1,000 subscribers? And it's consistency and posting, right? And that's because what happens is once somebody finds you, you want them to get into the loop of your content. And the more content you have, the longer they'll stay, especially if they like your content. So what's nice, especially with the shorts, is they'll have this option here for related videos. So for example, with my dog ones, I will go back and get like another one that I did like here. This is Biddy again, and I'll put that related. So when this posts and goes public, it'll show up, and then right after the title, it'll have, or right around where the title is, it'll have a link to this video. So if somebody clicks on it, it'll just take them to that one. And then that video has a link to another one of my dog videos. So you can kind of keep them in that loop with those links. That's another option on top of the end screen, which is another way that people can kind of stay content. So that shows that. And then subtitles here. You can do auto sync. You can kind of do this. You'll see here that if you go to auto sync, you can edit stuff. I normally don't really do a lot of that because what I have found is that over here, especially when you do longs, if you go to editor over here and you press language, which shows up on your longs, it'll automatically, or the language is here, it'll automatically put them in because it's legitimately now automatically doing them. These are all automatic. It's doing it on the back end. So I can edit them. So if I can go in and I can see. So here you can see what I said. Or this is actually the song attached to this video clip. And then if I wanted to edit any of the subtitles, I could. And this is another way to kind of have those subtitles, which again, if you are putting in those subtitles, I just published it, so those subtitles will show up. That's what I did there. If you're making the remix short, as I mentioned, there is an option for closed captioning. So on those little shorts from your longs, you can put up those colored captionings. Or if you're doing a short like this, where I just took it from my phone, put it on, I don't really necessarily have that option. You can come on the back end and put subtitles like that through the languages and then just edit and then publish. And then that way it will show up even if the person doesn't have the volume on. And then the monetization, that comes and then you can learn about it as you go. Most important, once you're monetized, is you want to make sure your monetization is turned on when you get to that stage. Now, if there is any copyright stuff, this is where they'll tell you, because once you put the video up, it is really good. If you want to put up the video and you're uploading it and you want it to go live that same day, give yourself a number of hours between when you upload it and when it goes live. So the system in the back end can make sure there's no issues, because then you will be aware if they think that there is restrictions or something, then you can take it down, edit it before it even goes live or whatever, right? So it's just good practice to give yourself some time for YouTube to process your video when you post this way. Obviously with lives, you're going live and then it's processed after the fact. So it's a little bit different. So that just kind of explains and shows you guys the back end of that. So when you go in here, all of that, right? I really was hoping to do the vidIQ. We'll get that so I can show you how it will give suggestions and all that stuff, which will make it a lot easier. Descriptions, it'll give you the suggestions for it. As I was talking to Mike yesterday, I said to him, like, I like vidIQ because it'll give you an auto description because it's reading your video. So it's going through reading your video, so it gets an idea of what your video is about, and then it will give you suggested descriptions. And they're okay. And then I find I like the way chat will kind of, so I'll go to Chat GPT, take the description that vidIQ gave me and make it just a little bit more glamorous. So it's kind of interesting because I'm using multiple AIs, as I'm sure many of you guys are, to kind of get that the end result you want, right? So that's one way. Kind of running in time, so I want to show you guys another way to upload it, but I think we'll wait till next week to go through that process. And that's the process of where we actually upload from this end. So if, for example, if I'm here and I go right here at the top, you'll see the create button, and I go to upload video. You can select your file this way. So the other way I posted it through my phone and just uploaded it. This way, let's see, where did I put that? Okay, I made a AI positive dog inspirational quote. So then here I'm uploading it. One of the things, again, you would have this linked to the vidIQ, but one of the best things I love is if it is related and content you're doing, when you do it this way, you'll see this button called reuse details. That will help you reuse details from other videos. So for example, this is a dog positive quote. I did some other dog positive quotes. So if I go down, actually it's been a little while since I did one, but let's say it was related to this video. I can select that. Then obviously I don't want to duplicate the title, so I would unclick that. I might want to duplicate the description and edit it. I want it in the same playlist. I like the tags. I want to keep the same tags I had already set up. So you can click on what you want to bring over, then you hit the reuse button there and it auto preps it. So that's a really great way that once you've kind of set up your descriptions and all that stuff, if you're making similar content, this way is kind of nice because you can reuse the stuff that you're just repeating on that content. And then from here, like obviously this description would be edited. So I would edit here this part of the description, but I like to have all my links to the other things that I have in my videos, those I don't change, but I like that it pulls it over so I don't have to copy and paste it. And then you go through the process that way. So next week, we'll make sure that the vidIQ is up. I don't know what happened to it, but we'll make sure that's up so it kind of gives you an idea of how that runs. And then we'll walk through the whole process of uploading that and using the vidIQ through that process as well. But if you guys have any questions on this base end, because there's a lot we can get into details, but it doesn't really help if you don't have content. So if we don't have content, then it's hard for me to really show you guys because you're not going to remember until you're going through this process and practicing uploading it. So that's kind of a brief overview of the basic back end of once you put a video up. Okay. And is there any questions on that? Okay. Okay. So what were the questions?
I've been answering the questions in the chat. So, multiple channels. We both have multiple channels. It's not a bad idea as we don't, it's also to compare and contrast strategies because there's not just one strategy to become YouTube famous. You really just need that first 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 public watch hours. And the only reason we're bringing up introducing tools like vidIQ is so you know how to make your life easier with titles and descriptions and thumbnails and ranking your videos because you have an idea of how your title of your video should be, but these tools are going to say, hey, in your niche, like tag your video with all these tags and write a clickbaity title and just put as much, it's just like to add more creativity to you so you keep the creative juices rolling and you're like, okay, this is what people are searching for on YouTube. When I show you the back end system of vidIQ, it will literally show you what videos to make in your niche because you're like, hey, I want to make these. We're asking you to make a list of 13 items or more and start fleshing out your ideas in your script so you have an idea of what type of videos you want to make. Once we show you the back, we weren't able to show you vidIQ because it's been glitchy for a day or two and it's not loading right now. But when there's a few different interfaces for it, and the back end system will actually show you your niche, like the video, let's say you're in real estate, it will show you what the top search keywords in real estate are and what doesn't have any content. So that's them saying, hey, people are searching for this type of content. It doesn't exist. Go make it. And then as you start practicing your videography skills, your uploading, your title skills, your description skills, you'll start learning what people on YouTube are searching for and how you can supply that content and bring more subscribers and eyeballs to your channel and meet a new audience, right? vidIQ has a free tier, which is limited, and then we're paying like $25 a month for it. You'll find most tools like that are kind of they're like $25 to $50 a month. I've got Kim, who's in the class, she's more advanced. She's left already. She's using TubeBuddy, and it allows her to edit her edit multiple videos at the same time. So she likes doing batch recording and then batch editing of everything. But she's super advanced. But I appreciate she shows up because I think I've got some wisdom. She hasn't learned some stuff I know that she hasn't learned yet. So I just say, hey, we've learned all this in the last 3 years with our going down the YouTube rabbit hole and learning how to make a channel and get out in front of people. The whole real reason we got into this was because there's so many business owners like Edward. There's so many business Edward owners out there, Edward and Paul, who've made a ton of podcast content. And I find YouTube will give you a lot of analytics on a very small sample size. So all you need is a YouTube channel and start getting subscribers and watch hours for YouTube to give you analytics. Facebook's not that granular. Spotify is definitely not that granular. And Apple Podcasts, you need like 4,000 subscribers before you get any analytics. And while we're leveraging YouTube to train us to make better content, so that way when you start getting into longer form stuff or podcasts or live interviews, you're learning tips and tricks to keep your audience engaged, and that's why we're using YouTube to build you a foundation, so that way when you go on to larger videos, you're in front of a bigger audience. You've already got the tools ready, and you're like, hey, this idea is going to be really clickbaity. We're going to bring it up and ask for, and this is just how we're going to roll with this stuff going forward, right? So does anybody have any other questions before we close class? Because I'm gonna go jump on Edward's Tai Chi class. I don't see anything else in the chat. I think the best place for questions is chat, because when one of us is uh, instructing the other ones in the chat. So
Thank
okay,
you.
thank you.
Good stuff,
See you next
good stuff,
Saturday.
Miguel. Thank
And
you.
if you have
Thank
any
you.
questions during the week, just go to the Facebook group and ask us questions. We usually respond within 24 hours. So
And we'll get the vidIQ working. It worked last night.
see you. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. Bye.
Have a
Bye.
good one. Thanks.
Leaving, and then we end the meeting. I should have a thing show up. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so I have to hit end and then the recording will